Hello and welcome back to my channel, Bookish Lady Night, where we get a look behind the book. Today is a very special episode. I am joined by one of my favorite authors, Heather Renee, and she is the author behind several books, of which I have right here, which I'm going to show you because they are gorgeous. This was her latest book, which was a Kickstarter, and it's a compendium with a bunch of other authors, but it's like gorgeous. And her story in here is called Make Me. There's that one, the foil. Love all the foil. Notch. And then we have Luna Marked. And I think this is one of my favorites. I love the wolf on the front. And once you read the story, you know why it's purple. So just read the story. And then
Yeah.
dragons. I'm a dragon girly. I am a book dragon. So this one was right up my alley. And it is so pretty. Like whoever designed these covers, which I want to talk about, like, oh my golly. Look at that. Curse of Shadows. Sorry, I didn't say the name of that one. I got distracted by shiny things. Okay, and then A Faded to the Wolf is the last one. And again, I love the artwork. So thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
So you have another Kickstarter out, and I think it's still live, right?
It is, yes, for one more week.
Do you want to tell us about it so they have a chance to like learn about it and then go run and get it before it's gone?
Absolutely. I even have a sample copy of it.
I'm so excited. I ran. Like I literally ran. Like I was at the other side of my house and I ran to get my phone because I was on my computer when you announced it to get my phone to sign up.
Oh, thank you. I love that. So this is a brand new series that I haven't even released on Amazon yet. This is called The Ash Mark. I only have a sample copy of book one, but the Kickstarter has all three books. It'll be a complete trilogy. I'm like 3/4 of the way done writing book three. It's like I like to think of it as cozy vibes, but high stakes. So there's still a villain. There's still we got to go do this thing or the world might end. I mean, not that drastic, but drastic enough. But there's a lot of found family, a lot of banter, there's like a supernatural manner that is magical and awesome. Like it does things like the closet does your laundry and gives you clothes and puts everything away. Like it's awesome. I want to live there.
I do too.
And there's a kooky grandma who says the most off the wall things like buttered bunions. There's a talking ferret. It's got fated mates and wolf shifters, and it's perfect.
I'm so
But yeah,
excited.
this is the special edition. It's hard to see on camera, but it shines really pretty in person. This is foiling on it. It's white holographic, has edges. The top of each book will have a quote from one of the book or from each book. We have a whole bunch of art. Got a map of the manor, and then character art,
It's so pretty.
more character art. And let's see, even more character art. That's our kooky grandma who has a fanny pack with her arsenal in it. She's knitting. Her knitting needles also subbed as vampire stakes.
Oh, I love that.
It's a lot of fun.
So I did the tier that had the ferret. I'm so excited
Yeah.
to get the ferret.
You know what I just realized? I have the ferret plushie in hand, and I brought him home from a signing, and I don't know where he is at the moment.
He's so cute though.
He's somewhere around here.
He's so cute. So that one is coming out. The Kickstarter ends next week, and then so that one is when we have to look forward to. But you have several towns, villages, realms that you write, and this might be a hard question, so I'm sorry in advance. But if you had to pick one to live in yourself, which one would you pick and why?
If I had to pick one of my existing ones, I would probably go with Luna Marked because wolf shifters just have my heart, and it's the most and I love found family, and I feel like that's the most found family vibes.
Yeah.
And I love that pack. There's so much love and excitement even through all of the ick that they have to go through.
Yeah.
So Luna Marked, but I mean, let's be honest, after telling you that I made a closet that magically does your laundry, I also want to live in the Ash Mark.
So that'll be like your summer home. I love that. So, and I also loved that the daughter of the Luna Mark book
Yes.
series has her. I love that you did a second generation.
Yes. I wasn't sure I was going to, but then I was like, you know what? Yes, we are. It's going to be so much fun. And bringing in dragons when there wasn't dragons was perfect.
I loved how you did that. And I love the angst, like the angst in that one. They all have really good angst. So let me say that if you like angst and you like
Yes.
pining, these are your jam. But that one was like on a whole other level. I loved that one.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of slow burn. I mean, I have some spicy scenes, but I'm not big on that being the main focus point of any story that I write.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like that. I like when it has, like, a plot and it has, like, that emotional connection with the characters. If it's just that, I'm like, I can't get into it." So, I like more of the plot because then I feel like the stakes and all of the stuff, it keeps, like, the adrenaline pumping in my brain and, like, all of
Yeah,
that. I'm like, "I wanna read more." So, I own these books like this, and then I also own these books in audio. So, yeah. I
nice.
love the audiobook, so if you're an audiobook girly, definitely grab them. You will like them. Okay, so was there a scene that you remember writing, and then which book and chapter, so we don't have spoilers, that had you, like, laughing out loud when you were writing it?
Ooh, okay. Let me just start this with probably half or more of my answers are going to be about my new series because I have the worst memory in the world.
Okay, no worries.
There are 2 scenes in the Ash Mark that I can remember. So, in were both of them? Yeah, both of them were in the first book, Fates and Curses. Um, one of them, so she shifts for the first time, and we're about halfway through the book at this point. Their wolf side can actually talk to them through like mind speak.
Mhm.
So one of them is when she's getting ready to shift back to her human form, or no, when she's again, told you, bad memory, don't judge me.
No, it's fine. No judgment
At
here.
some point, she's either shifting or shifting back. Um, and she tells her wolf, "For the love of God, do not hump him." That cracked me up because I didn't see that one coming. Sometimes my fingers just do what they do. And then right around that same moment, because she doesn't have her magical tattoo yet, when she goes back human, she does not have any clothes. Homegirl is Miggy. And so she runs and she hides in the bushes. And I'm just cackling this whole time because she's just like, why didn't anybody warn me? Why have clothes out here? So her vampire friend races back to the house and grabs the first thing she can find, which she comes back with is a pink muumuu that her kooky grandmother normally wears.
Oh my golly.
So she comes out of the bushes. She's dressed in this pink muumuu. She has twigs coming out of her hair, and she's just like, I hate.
Can't wait to read that one. Oh my golly, I'm so excited.
So,
That's
yeah.
funny. I like that. Okay. So, was there a hard main character to write out of any of your characters? Were there any that were really, like, struggle for you?
Ooh, I'm gonna just like turn around and peek at my book.
No worries.
I'm gonna say probably not hard necessarily. More complex would be from Scorn by Blood
Mhm.
series. Both the main female and male characters had very strong beliefs and ideas about how they thought the world worked. And then as they get to know each other, secrets are revealed. And so, almost like prejudice, she hated vampires. And then she's
Hmm.
like, oh, but I am one and I have to figure this out. And so that was a little bit more complicated, but
Yeah.
it made it for an interesting story. So even though it took me a little bit longer to write, I didn't mind it in the end once it was all done. I was like, oh, okay, that wasn't so
Yeah.
bad.
I could see that. Like, I liked how you did that because it was like she had such an inner turmoil, like, of, like, what she, like, thought to be and then what was really and, like, finding the even ground. So
Yes, something that she could live with while accepting her new life.
so was there a side character that was, like, constantly in the back of your brain, like, nagging at you to the point where you're like, "Okay, you're getting a book. Like, leave me alone."
Not necessarily one that I felt needed her own book, but one that became a way bigger player than I thought she ever would, and that is Beatrix from Mystics and Mayhem Worlds.
Okay.
When she appeared in the first trilogy, I thought she was just this witch that was doing this thing, and then she came back in every single book.
Yeah.
And she stole the show wherever you hated her, but you loved her, and she was just so rude, but it was because she just cared so much.
Yeah. No, I love her. She's such a good character, and I loved in the I don't wanna spoil it, but when you're when she's in the book, she's like, "Who in the hell brought him along?" And she's like, "Whack." Like that whole part of the book was hysterical and like the trauma of walking in, like
Oh,
all of
yeah,
that.
that was a lot of fun to write, and yeah, they deserved each other, and that was perfect.
Yes. Yeah, I liked it. But his description, I was like, "Girl," I was like, "A unibrow?" Like, really? So, like, at least she
Socks
gets
with
that. Like,
sandals.
that's, like, one, like, point against all of her, like, snarkiness.
Yes.
Oh, I loved it. So, how do you go about keeping each book, fresh with the steamy scenes with the premise of the book being that you predominantly write shifter type stories?
That's kind of why I ended up closing out the Mystics in Mayhem world because I wanted to continue writing shifters, but I didn't want to like rinse and repeat. So it helps starting a new series
Mhm.
to just have a new twist on who they are. Like, so we're going to make them fated mates, but how are we going to make it not insta love? So I asked the questions that'll help me keep the vibes that I like, the slow burn, the fated mates. And I just say, wait until I have an idea. Oh, okay. Well, her bond is broken, or she lost her magic. So that makes their bond broken. Or she was reincarnated and now she has no memories and they have to like basically start over. It's just finding that one little twist that'll
Mhm.
tweak the whole thing and make it different, but
Yeah.
while also being a comfort read because it's still shifters and fated mates and what people love.
Yeah. Yes, I love that. So what inspired you to write in this genre? Were you just a fan yourself and you just wanted to write a certain way that you didn't see written out there? Or like how did it start?
Yeah, I was a reader. I was a reader when I was young, and then I lost it for a long time, and then Twilight, and that brought my love of reading back, and I dove heavy into paranormal romance after Twilight, and I actually was just working in the book world, helping authors and doing things. And then one of my friends was like, "Hey, we should do this writing contest thing." The they don't think they do it anymore.
Is it
The name
NaNoWriMo?
yes,
Yeah.
that.
Write a
And
book
I
in
was
30
like,
days or something?
yes. And I was like, no, I'm a reader. I'm not a writer. No thanks. We're good. And she just like kept bugging me, like, hey, what you think you can't do it? And I was like, okay, girl, you ready? I'm gonna throw the gloves off and we're doing this. And I did it. I wrote 50,000 words in that month, which was the goal. And yeah, I thought it was gonna be a one and done, and I couldn't let it go. It just kept going.
Love that. I love that. That's so cool. Did you give her like a little like thank you for pushing me after the fact? Now all
Yes,
these years later?
absolutely.
So, is there a character that has stayed with you long after you finish their story where they're still kind of like just living rent free in your brain?
Um, Goodness. I A lot of my female main characters stay with me because I enjoy writing like the snarky vibes. And so really like those stronger, snarkier ones from my original series, Raven Point Pack. Taya, I still think about her. And honestly, if somebody begged me to go back to that world, I 100% would. It wouldn't take much.
Oh, you should.
Right? And then probably Kate from Luna Mart.
Okay.
It was really easy to relate to her, even though she was really stubborn and people loved to hate her in that first book. It was just easy to relate to her because we all think, like, okay, yeah, if the supernatural world became real, I would be down for it because this is what we read, this is what we live. But in reality, would you? Would you just say yes without any reservation? And I don't know that I would. I mean,
Yeah.
would I believe it and be like, cool, you do you, boo? But would I want to be in it for life?
Yeah. Yeah. I could see that. I could see that. But you should totally do that. I love when authors do like a where are they now and like a little novella, like, years down the road and we can like see how everything is. I love that. I auto
Oh,
buy.
do not get my mind going, girl. Oh my goodness.
So, is there and this is like picking your favorite kid, so I'm sorry, so you can like
Oh,
pick your top ones, but out of your books, is there a favorite that you've written?
I mean, I'm probably just gonna have to stick with Luna Mark. Not
Yeah.
only because I felt like Kate was so relatable, but I call certain series, I call them my breakout moment. So where I kind of thought like, well, maybe this author thing isn't for me. And then a series does really well. And I'm just like, my mind is blown and I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm an author. I'm, this person. This is my life now. And Luna Marked was the biggest one that changed everything for me.
Mhm.
So because of, the story and what it meant for me in my career, that will probably always be my favorite.
Yeah, it's a good series. Oh, it's so good. So, so good. So, within your stories, a lot of them end on a cliffhanger. Do you struggle with that? Like, because I know, like, as a reader, I hate them. But as a writer, because I'm writing a book, I'm like,
I do. I struggle with them a little bit. I'm not a big plotter. And so typically what I try and do is in my mind, I'll be like, okay, here's this girl, here's this guy. How are they going to meet and when? And then that gives me my start of the story.
mhm,
And then I go, okay, but where are we going to cut it off at? And what do I need to like, okay, I'm going to cut it off here. So I need to make sure that an entire plot arc happens between here and we're good. So I'll try and think of the cliffhanger. And then once I finally get there, probably only about 50% of the time it works out the way that I planned
oh,
because so much has changed. And I normally don't have control of anything, but I do try and make them more gentle than most authors. I don't like
mhm,
to get super cruel with them,
yeah,
but that's,
yeah, they're
readers may
not
hate
too
them.
gut wrenching.
Yeah. And, as much as readers say that they hate them, that's what keeps them thinking about the book for weeks and drooling for that next book to come. So sorry, not sorry.
Yes. I think it's kind when it's like the book ends and like we hopefully get that same book within that year. The part
Yes.
that gets me, like there's a series that I read last year and the next book is not even a blip of an announcement on the author's page. Like I don't even know when the next book's coming out. Like no clue. And it left you on a brutal cliff. Like I am dangling and sweating trying to figure out when the heck the next book is coming.
Oh,
Those
no.
kill me.
I will say that my new writing strategy is to only write 3 books a year,
Mhm.
and I will always complete a series before I start another one. And so I usually write trilogies. So if like with this year, I'm writing the 3rd book in the Ashmark series but and even though I'm finishing it so early, those will probably be the only 3 books I release this year, and then I'll start writing everything that I'll be releasing in 2027. So,
I like that.
but readers, they won't have long waits. It'll just be at most, I think I spread it out about 10 to 12 weeks between releases.
Oh, that's not bad at all. I can
No.
do that. I can handle that.
Yeah, it's mostly so that I could line it up, and have audio recorded and releasing on the same day as the ebook so that
Yeah.
all of my readers are getting the same goodies. Don't have
Yeah.
to nobody has to wait.
So how is it with doing the audiobook journey? Is that daunting or do you like it or
It was really daunting at first because audio is crazy expensive. You can get it cheap, but and sometimes cheap works. I'm not going to say it doesn't work, but oftentimes you get what you pay for.
Mhm.
And so, most audiobooks for authors are, thousands of dollars to make. And so that was daunting putting that huge investment in upfront. But once I finally found my readership there and they were like, oh, she is consistently releasing audiobooks, made it easier. And now it's just a thing that I know I have to do.
What is your favorite villain or who is your favorite villain?
Ooh. Ooh. Okay, so I have a problem where I often write villains where I will feel really bad for them and then I may or may not kill them in the end because like I find some way to make them redeemable. I guess I'm just a really nice person at heart and even killing fictional people is hard for me.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to blame my bad memory. There is a villain that I can very specifically remember saving and I want to say that maybe I stripped his memories and made him human and sent him
Yes.
back. Okay. No clue who he was or what book that was from, but I remember really liking him.
That was from the Fated to the
Was it
Wolf at the end.
okay,
The girl was the bad girl and her partner, she was like trying to save him and keep him alive.
okay, yeah, that one, sure. Maybe now I'm not remembering it. I
I can't
don't
remember the
know.
name of the girl, but she was, like, awful, and she kept trying to go after and take the power in the crystal, and then she was trying to save her mates, and you put them both and back to mortal status and sent them to be living their lives out that way.
Okay, yeah. I mean, and for one that I remember more specifically, I could tell you that I really enjoyed the villain in Cage Me because I mirrored her after one of my best friends and gave her her name, and she just was thrilled that I absolutely made a villain after her.
So how do you balance, not quite like, because obviously it's set around like us, because it's the paranormal part of it, but how do you balance the heavier world building, setting up, the magical side of it with the story to keep attention to it? Like, does that a hard process for you?
It can be mostly because I hate world building. Like I'm a very fast paced. We're doing this now. We're moving forward. The story is moving forward. Let's go, go, go. I don't care what color the carpet is. And so how I've learned to balance that because I know that readers, especially visual readers, I'm not a visual reader, so it took a long time for me to learn that. Well, yeah, people do really see full movies in their head, whereas, like, remember that apple, like that was like grayscale, the red. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm the grayscale,
Okay.
so it took me a long time to like find that balance between serving those people and writing what I know. And so how I overcame that was having female main characters that weren't part of the magical world. So the reader gets to learn as they learn, and it's not this big info dump. It's just like, oh, we're experiencing this in real time with her.
Hmm.
And so I felt like that was more natural. And then I also have an assistant who beta reads my books and is obsessed with world building. So she'll go through and she'll leave me comments. What color are the walls? Where are they at? What are they doing? Why? And I'm like, I hate you, but I love you. Thank you so much. And then I go back and I add little details.
Yeah.
So that she still keeps me on my toes with that stuff.
Well, tell her thank you because I am totally that person. I am like all about like I've totally like set myself into the scene.
Yeah, almost anytime there was a color assigned to something outside of like, well, I mean, shoot, sometimes she'll be like, "Can we get hair and eye color, please?"
Like, no.
Sure. You can't just have Bob be Bob. Like, why does he need to have brown hair and blue eyes? Like, why? You can almost always thank her for those
Thank you.
details.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so this is kind of a fun question. And I kind of tone it down because like I've heard at some events people go a little bit crazy with this, but who would you date? Who would you marry? And who would you kick to the curb?
Ooh, ooh. Okay. Hmm. I might marry. Oh my God, what is his name? I told you. This is terrible. My main male character from A Curse of Shadows might marry him. I have Asher. That's his
After,
name.
yeah.
Took me a minute. Because he lives in a castle. I mean, come
Uh,
on. Let's live in a castle for the rest of our life. Who I'd kick to the curb is probably poor Micaiah, because being bitten and blood and all of that, vampire is not my thing. Who would I date? I'd want somebody fun. Who's like my funnest? Goodness. I would probably the person that's coming to mind is actually like a main side character, and that would be Vaughn from Luna Mart because he
yeah,
was absolutely
I
hilarious.
would pick him too. I was just thinking that. I
Right?
was like, Vaughn, say Vaughn.
Yes.
All right. So then out of your female characters, who would be your best friend? Who would be your roommate? And who would you take on a road trip?
Ooh, okay. From Raven Point Pack would be my best friend, of course. Road trip, Beatrix. Let's
Yeah.
go on a road trip with Beatrix. That would be fun. What was the other option?
So roommate.
Roommate. Ooh, who would I live with? I would probably live with my new female main character, Rowan. She is snarky and not afraid of much, but she's sensible. She makes good, smart choices and not just,
All
let's
right.
dive in because we can.
Yeah. I like that. Do you listen to music or have like where you go see like art exhibits or anything like that while you're writing to like help inspire you?
I don't know that I get inspired by my music, but I 100% I have music like sometimes literally blasting while I'm writing. If I need to drown out my thoughts, I do it with music. Even music with words. Most of the time I'm listening to like Andy Grammer, or I even have this new fascination with Taylor Swift's new album, even though I wasn't a big fan of the last two. Love the new one. But Andy Grammer is probably for like the last 9 months or so. Like, I was in the
Hmm.
top Spotify gave me my Wrap, and I was in the top, like, 0.001% of his listeners.
Wow.
I know, I know. I was like, "Do I get a ribbon? Like, is he gonna
I
mail me
know.
something?" That's an accomplishment.
Yeah, that is. That's awesome.
But yeah, I love music. I don't know that I necessarily get inspiration from it, but it just helps me stay very focused on what I'm doing. And then, yeah, I've never done like museums for inspiration, but when I travel, I 100% look for things that I can put into my books. Especially, well, I guess, yeah, that would be museums. Like when I was in Scotland last year, I was still writing my Romantasy series. So a
Mhm.
lot of the castle details that are in that world actually came from me taking pictures of stuff while I was doing that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go there so bad. So
it is.
how sorry. So how do you like work with your writing process? Like do you have like a set time? Do you kind of do it when you can? Like what is like a normal writing day for you?
I take my job very seriously. I am in my office 5 days a week. Whether I'm in my office all day or not, that depends on my workload at the moment. But I get up like I'm going to work, I get dressed, I do the whole thing. And so my day begins with me coming in, I check my email, and then if I'm writing a book, I'll kind of look at my admin tasks for the day and just be like, okay, well, this is only going to take me an hour. So I'm going to knock out all this first and then I'll write. But if I feel like my admin task may take me too long, I will write first. And typically, I only schedule myself for one chapter per day unless I don't have anything else going on. And sometimes I'll write more. But
Okay. Is there any like must-haves like as far as like setting the mood for yourself or like snacks or anything that you like have to have with you while you're writing?
no snacks. I'm not a big snack eater while I'm writing, but my music, I can't write in the quiet. My thoughts are way too loud. And because I don't plot, I very often have no clue what's happening next. And so if I don't have like the 100 other million open tabs in my brain muted by music, then it's really hard for me to write.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. It's like too many people in a waiting room trying to get your attention.
Yes.
So how was it well, you didn't necessarily co-write, but you co-authored. So how was that doing, like these books where you're doing a group? Like how did that go about or how did that start?
So it started with Kel Carpenter. She approached me and asked if I wanted to join this world and write stories that would overlap with other authors. And I was like, yes, please. But oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. The first season, we call them seasons. I was so nervous. I asked a million and one questions and she was like, girl, stop. You got this. It's fine. I was like, but I don't. Oh my gosh. So it was really nerve wracking, but once I got into it and figured it out, it was really easy um, until the last season. And I love to throw Kel under the bus for this. We did that All Hallows Eve season, and I had told her after season 3 I was done, I was out. I couldn't do anymore because it's a lot of work. You're not only promoting your work, you're also promoting other authors, and because that's the whole point of it. And it was just a lot, and I didn't think I had the bandwidth for it. Kel convinced me, come on, just one last season. I promise we'll wrap it up after this. I'd love to throw her under the bus for this. About 3 months after I agreed to be in that season, she calls me and she was like, so I actually can't run this season. I'm not going to write a book in it this year and I need you to run it for me. And I was like, girl, I'm going to kill you. Love you, but I'm going to hurt you.
Oh
And so this is
no.
the way I do that. She will never live this down. And yeah, it was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun once I got into it and getting to know the other authors better. 'Cause, we all knew of each other, but you get to work a lot closer and see other people's writing styles and how they do things, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's really cool. So how is it putting on a Kickstarter? Like it seems like so daunting to me.
Uh, it is. Your first one is definitely 100% the most daunting. Once you get the story part of it done, the main section, it gets a lot easier. But then you have to sort out the packing and shipping of things. And for me, that's always been my favorite part. I love packing and shipping books to readers. It brings me great joy to know that words I've written are going to go sit on somebody else's bookshelf. So, but for most authors, they're like, I don't have the room for this. I don't want to do this. This is so much work. And so it prevents them from actually even ever doing a Kickstarter because if you get, I mean, even 100 packages to ship out in one go is a lot. But I mean, some campaigns go 2, 3, 500.
Mhm.
And it's a lot to commit to. It can be for somebody who's never done it before and if they have even a 10% of nervousness about it, I always tell them start with either one book or one omnibus edition. I typically will only recommend the omnibus edition because if you start with one book, then really you're expected, and like there's more in the series, then you're kind of expected to do the other ones.
Mhm.
But if you just wait until the series is complete and do the omnibus edition, it's one book, it's one cover, it's less art to commit to, and it's a chiller vibe.
Vibe, yeah. Yeah. So, what do you love most about your books? Is it the character interactions, like their story? Is it the book as a whole? Like, what is like your pull when you're starting to write a book that keeps you going?
It is being able to write the book without plotting it, because then I get to feel like I'm reading it at the same time as I'm writing it.
Mhm.
And especially when I get those funny moments, like having a character wear a pink muumuu, it's like I get to laugh and enjoy my job. And I couldn't imagine doing it any other way. The people that have to, spend days or weeks writing these big, long plots, I'm like, I could never. It would
Yeah.
take the joy out of it for me. And
Yeah.
it's just those surprise moments where even I'm taken aback. Like my favorite thing is when I step back from the keyboard and I go, I did not see that coming. And most people are like, "What do you mean you didn't see that coming? You're writing the story." But am I?
Yeah. No, I love that. That's what I love to think that authors are like right there with me. 'Cause
Yeah.
usually so I know authors that plot, and I know authors that are pansters, and they both write amazing books, but you can kinda tell the ones that don't do an outline because you're just like they're so with their things that you're like, "Oh my god," like and you know that they were just sitting there doing the same thing when they were writing it, and I love that. So,
Yeah, it's the only way I can do it.
yeah, yeah. So, as a reader, what is a book that you've read that maybe you couldn't put down recently?
I went through about 2 years where I actually had a really hard time and I couldn't read at all. And probably the book, let's see, I would go with Am I gonna say it right? Yes. Sunrise on the Reaping, Hunger Games spinoff. That was last year. It was the first book that I basically devoured after my reading hiatus. And so I'm gonna give credit to that one because yeah,
Nice.
it was really good.
Nice. So when you're writing, are there certain scenes that are harder to write for you?
Mm, I'm not a big fan of big battle scenes. Those are really hard to write for me because while previously said I'm not a big fan of world building, I do know that in a battle scene, I want to see it all. I
Mhm.
want to know, okay, what is this person doing over here? What are they doing over there? But we can't pause to like say these things too long because she's supposed to be protecting herself, and those are probably my hardest scenes are the battle scenes,
A
just
battle scene.
because I put a lot of pressure on myself to I probably go through and reread and edit those the most out of any scene in the book.
Okay. And then on the flip side, what are the easiest or most enjoyable scenes for you to write?
The banter scenes, but without a question, the scenes where it's more you get into the cozier vibes where they're being together without the stress of whatever else is happening beyond that moment. I mean, I can write 1,000 words in under half an hour when I'm doing those scenes.
Wow. That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
really cool. So within your stories, when there's anything that's kind of more of a triggering topic or something that could be perceived as triggering, do you struggle with writing those scenes?
I pretty much avoid, avoid, avoid. I get that some people don't mind triggers and that, sometimes they are needed, but outside of like death of a parent,
Mhm.
or the unfortunate, unforeseen death of a side character, I don't write any
Anything,
triggers that
yeah.
I mean, I guess I've spoken of like maybe she was almost assaulted, but I never put anything like that on paper. I don't have any desire to. I went through some pretty traumatic experiences in my life before I became a writer, and reading is what got me through it.
Mhm.
So for me, I wanna write something that can be truly an escape and is never gonna catch anybody off guard.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I avoid those pretty heavily.
Yeah, I can see that. I like that. So is there a moment that you can recall in your writing journey where you felt really proud, something that stands out to you?
I mean, always, and I've already said this one, but Luna marked that when that series I think Wolf Kiss, the first book, it was The first time I had had a book rank super high in the store, and I just kept watching it and watching it. And I'm just like, and it was just so proud of myself for pushing through because starting out as an author, I mean, you get some people that are immediate success and the algorithms love them and it just picks up and it's great for them. But probably more often than not, you get authors who write a book, throw it out to the world and expect success. And it's like, this isn't as easy as some people make it look.
Yeah.
And that was me. It probably took me a dozen books or so before I had my first, like, my mini breakout book. And then that kind of like died down. And then I finally got to Luna Marked and I was like, you know what? I can do this. I am a good writer. I tell good stories. It just made me finally feel really confident in what I was doing.
Awesome. So do you have like a writing kryptonite, like when you're writing that that'll trigger you and then it just like totally throws off your writing process?
My kid or husband walking into my office and being like, "Oh, hey, blah, 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 blah." And I'm like, "You didn't even ask me what I was doing. You didn't say, hey, can I talk? You just," and I'll give them this look and they just like, wow. That or a phone call, but usually that's on me because I'll answer it thinking it's gonna be something quick. And then I'm like, yeah, day's gone. It's over.
Yeah,
But
that's the
most of the
worst.
time, it's my kid that comes in. She's finally learning. She's 17, almost 18 now, and she's finally learning that if my fingers are flying, she stays completely silent until I look up.
Until you look up. That's good. Have you ever struggled with writer's block?
Yes and no. I have had moments where I feel like the story has stalled. Not necessarily that I just don't want to write, but I'm like, something's not right and I can't move forward until I fix it, but I don't
Mhm,
know what it is. So then I have to go back and basically I just do a self edit on what I've written so far. 99% of the time I'll find what I feel like I'm missing or
mhm.
what I've forgotten like, oh, there was that breadcrumb. That's where we're supposed to go next. And so, yeah, nothing that's ever kept me down for longer than a couple of days.
So if you could go in a time machine and travel back in time to your younger writing self, what would you tell yourself knowing what you know now?
Someone else's success is never going to be your success. So what works for one person will not work for everyone else or even for yourself. And so just trust your gut. Do what you do and it'll work out.
I like that. So then also on this trip in the past, what would your younger self say to you seeing you as you are now?
Holy shit, I can't believe we did it. Yeah.
Very, very good. Okay. So I figured we could do our little this or that. So would you rather read from a physical book, an audiobook, or an ebook?
Ebook.
Okay. Would you okay, I've been told I'm mean in this question, so I'm just gonna say sorry ahead of time. So would you rather crack the spine of a paperback or ruin the hardback's dust jacket?
Hmm. Dust jacket.
Dust jacket, okay. Would you rather have dinner with your favorite character or your favorite author? And the characters don't have to be your own characters; they could be any character.
Character, 100%.
Okay, and which character?
Well, rude. That's ruder than the dust jacket. And I have no idea. I'm going to plead the fifth.
Plead the fifth? Okay, okay. So would you rather read a romantic suspense or a rom-com?
Rom com.
Rom-com, okay. Okay, this one's another painful one. So would you rather reread your least favorite book every month or never read your favorite book again?
Never read my favorite book again
Okay. Would you
because I could
rather
find a new favorite.
Yes, exactly, exactly. You can always find something new. Would you rather coffee or tea?
Neither.
Neither? Okay. Which would it be then for what you drink?
Water.
Water, okay. Would you rather read the book first or watch the movie first?
It depends on the book, but most of the time I think I'd rather read the book
Read
first.
the book first, alright. And then would you rather cat or a dog?
I don't like that question either.
Both team
Team both. Yes, I have both. I love both. They're both a pain in the butt for various reasons, but they're both perfect for various reasons. So
Yeah,
I can choose.
I'm team both also. Would you rather a sunny day or a rainy day?
Sunny, hands down.
Okay. And then, would you rather read a standalone, a duology, or a trilogy?
I really love standalone, so we're gonna go with that.
I'm gonna go with that. Nice. Okay. So, is there something unique or quirky that we maybe don't know about you, or a hobby that you have that's unique or unusual that you have?
I'm unique. I'm a pretty boring person. I'm a homebody. I am almost 40 and I have never dyed my hair.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. Well, you don't look 40. Me too. I'm almost 40 also, so I feel you. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know
awesome.
I'm starting to get little tiny silvers that are coming in, and I'm just like, okay, well, I will eventually dye my hair because
Yeah,
I
I'm
am
over here with
too
the same thing
young.
and my eye twitches, and I'm like, "Oh, I don't like that. I need to cover them up."
Like, yeah, I'm too young to look old. So that'll be when I finally break. But yeah, I've made it almost 4 decades without dyeing my hair.
Wow, that's cool. Okay, so since you are a paranormal shifter author, I always have to ask these 2 questions. So the first one is, what do you think your spirit animal is?
Wolf shifter,
Wolf
100%.
shifter. Okay. And then if you could be any of the mythical creatures you write about, which one would it be and why?
Oh, well, I guess I answered that incorrectly. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the spirit
The spirit
animal.
one? Okay.
And I would say some sort of bird, an
Okay.
owl maybe.
An owl. Nice.
And then I would wanna be the wolf shifter.
Be the wolf shifter. All right.
Yes,
Awesome.
because pack vibes, found family. I don't have a big family myself, so I guess that's why I love it. Love writing the pack vibe so much. So yeah, wolf
Yeah.
shifter for those
Yeah. Like
things.
after the interview, I'll have to email you a couple horned owls that live outside my window here, and they have a little nest they built, and I'm like, "Oh, there's gonna be babies," and I'm like so excited. So, how do you go about, or is it, do you struggle with writing, those pieces of the story from the male's point of view?
It does take more thought process. I write a lot faster when I'm in the female point of view. Yes. So yes, I will say I struggle with it a little bit. Depends on the particular scene. Like if we're in like an action scene and he's like in protective alpha mode, it's pretty
Mhm.
easy for me to write. But if we're just like going through the next step to get to the next step, I do slow down because I don't want him to seem feminine.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see where that would be hard. So, let me go down here. What, in your opinion, makes a great story?
Relatable characters
Okay.
because the moment the reader can put themselves in the story is typically the moment where the story sticks with them.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. So, I want to talk really quick about these covers. I had talked about it earlier. So, how was this process for you? Like working with the designer and all of that. Was it daunting? Was it fun?
No, it was a lot of fun. I worked with Laura at Covers by Aura for those covers on the Mystics in Mayhem special editions, and she is wonderful. I've actually met her in person. We've had meals together. She lives in Australia and she's just an absolute gem. And so it was a lot of fun working with her on and putting those pieces together. She made it really, really easy for me. We went through a few variations where the original covers actually had a lighter background and then darker, like the fabric swoop,
Mhm.
and then we switched them. But yeah, she was a lot of fun to work with. And then I typically will work with a lot of the same people. A lot of the art that's done there is from Samaya, and she always makes it easy. Samaya did that piece for us. And yeah, once I find somebody that's easy to work with, I pretty much stick with them so that it's not a daunting experience.
I love them. They're so pretty. I love the foil, especially on that one because it's like purple holographic.
Yes.
It looks so cool. So, I love that. You have a whole shelf pretty much on my bookshelf at this point. So, I love that. So, what is the most surprising or profound thing you've learned on your writing journey?
Profound.
Or surprising, either one.
But that I can actually be a writer? I mean, that would probably be I honestly didn't set this out with that this would be my life. I didn't have goals of being a full-time author. It was just something to do for fun. So I guess that would be the most surprising thing is that I can actually do this and continue to create new unique stories after 50 plus books.
Has your process changed a lot from, like, when you started to now, like, with writing and then publishing?
It hasn't changed a ton, but it's slowed down. So I used to just like really pump out books really fast, but now I take more time and probably spend more time editing and doing the more world building and things like that. But overall, the process I write very linear. Yeah, it hasn't changed much.
Hasn't changed much. So is there, anywhere we can see you out in the wild, in the real life? Any upcoming events?
I have 3 signings this year. 2 of them are in Seattle. One will be at Emerald City Comic Con actually in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
And then I'll have a small boutique signing in Seattle again in July. It's for readers and writers, is the name of it. And then I'll be at Fangirl in Orlando in September.
Yeah, I got to meet you um, last year in February at Wild and Windy. I got to meet you
Yes.
for the first time in person, so that was fun. So my last question is, what message do you want readers to take away from after reading your
Probably, I don't know, the first word that came to mind was like hope, strength. A lot of the times my books, they'll have these obstacles that the characters have to overcome. And so for me, what I got out of reading was that even though this person was a fictional character, when I'm in my reading mode, it's like this gives me that sense that I can push through whatever I'm going through right now. And
Mhm.
so if I can give people that are going through a hard time, that would make me pretty darn happy.
Thank you so much for coming on and joining me today. It was so nice getting to know you because I'm such a big fangirl. I'm like, I get to talk to you. It was like so cool. I really appreciate it. And I'm very excited about the Kickstarters. And please send this to your book besties who like shifter romances. And be sure to like and subscribe and join me next time as we get another look behind the book. Thank you again so, so much.
Thank you. Bye.